Hey guys, I just want to share a few things God's been placing on my heart recently. He's been speaking to me through 2 Samuel chapter 6. So I'm just going to begin by sharing a verse from that chapter. And that verse is number 16. It reads, "But as the ark of the Lord entered the city of David, Michal, the daughter of Saul, looked down from her window. When she saw King David leaping and dancing before the Lord, she was filled with contempt for him." You know, at least once a week, I pick my daughter up from school at lunchtime. And when I do that, I walk past the playground that my son is on. And without fail, he runs up to the fence when he sees me or his friends shout him and tell him I'm there. He runs up to the fence, he jumps up and he wraps his arms around me, gives me a kiss, which is lovely. And I realise things might change by the time he gets to high school. But as things are, it's great that he just doesn't care about what anyone thinks. He just wants to show his love. And that's the way it is with David. He loves the Father so much that what other people think doesn't matter to him. He just worships him completely. And I was reading this recently. And there was a particular verse a bit further on that really impacted me even more, and that's verse 22. So here David is responding to Michal, and he says, "Yes, I am willing to look even more foolish than this, even to be humiliated in my own eyes." I mean, wow. Even to be humiliated in my own eyes. I mean, what does that look like? To go beyond just looking foolish in the eyes of others, to actually humiliating ourselves and looking humiliated to ourselves. I just think it's such a powerful thing to say and something worth thinking about. And I just think it's so easy for our behaviours to be influenced by those around us. And sometimes our behaviours are affected without us even fully realising it. Subconsciously, we're aware of people around us and what they may think. Just one example of that is in the church building context and when we're worshipping him. I'm sure many of us have been in that place where we're not worshipping with total freedom because we're worried or concerned or thinking about what others may think. And that's a relatively small example. David's worshipping here by leaping and dancing. But there are so many areas, so many ways in our lives where we worship the Lord. It comes out in different behaviours. No matter the behaviour, it's important that we're not concerned with other people and we're not hindered by that. Our witness is affected otherwise. So things like self-consciousness, fear, things like that just get in the way. And I've actually come up with 3 reasons why we should have the same attitude as David, why we should be willing to be humiliated even in our own eyes. The first one is because having that attitude comes against pride. It comes against pride that's within us. So it dismisses what man thinks and it's just focused on what God thinks. It comes against any pride that is inside. The second one is it enables us to be bold. We can't be bold for Jesus if we're worried about what we look like and what others think about us and the way that we come across. To be bold in our witness for him, we need to not worry about those things. Okay, and thirdly, it may be necessary as a stepping stone to greater things. So there may be instances where you're witnessing for Jesus. Perhaps you want to share your faith with friends and family. There may be times where you don't feel qualified. You could look at people like Daniel Chand, Todd White, and think they've got a communication gifting that you don't have. But be encouraged. I was reading recently about that great British evangelist and preacher Smith Wigglesworth. And I've got a couple of quotes here from Smith Wigglesworth. He said, "There was never a weaker man on the platform," referring to himself. I read about when he first started preaching, he would stand on the pulpit and he would struggle communicating so much that he would end up in tears. He also said, "All natural things in my life point exactly opposite to my being able to stand on the platform and preach the gospel. This is the man who later on in his life was at a funeral. He grabbed a dead man out of the coffin, threw him against the wall and brought him back to life. So I don't think you can reach that place without being willing to look foolish, to be humiliated in your own eyes. But his beginnings, that place of small beginnings for him looked very different as to where he ended up. So yeah, sometimes we need to have that mindset that David had in order to take a step forward to greater things that he has for us. So bless you guys. Just to summarise, we need to forsake our comfort zones. Such an important time that we're living in, to be bold and to just live in abandonment to God. So let's be more like David and be willing to be humiliated in our own eyes. Bless you.